Question 1. Which of the following best describes the difference between a standard title insurance policy and an extended title insurance policy in Michigan? A standard policy provides coverage against issues arising from unrecorded liens, while an extended policy includes protection against issues related to off-record matters such as unrecorded easements. B. A standard policy offers protection only against claims of ownership disputes, whereas an extended policy covers all potential claims, including those related to zoning issues and violations. C. An extended policy includes coverage for off-record issues like unrecorded easements and surveys, while a standard policy typically only covers recorded matters and defects. D. A standard policy covers all types of defects, including those related to public records, while an extended policy only provides coverage for issues discovered through a title search. Answer: C. Explanation. In Michigan, a standard title insurance policy generally provides coverage for issues related to matters recorded in public records. This includes defects that are clearly recorded but does not typically extend to off-record matters. An extended title insurance policy, on the other hand, offers more comprehensive coverage, including protection against issues that may not be recorded, such as unrecorded easements, rights-of-way, and certain survey matters. This additional coverage is essential for buyers seeking broader protection. Relevant law guideline. Title insurance policies are defined by the Michigan Department of Insurance and Financial Services, which outlines the standard and extended coverages provided under different policies. Question 2. Which of the following is a key responsibility of a title insurance underwriter during the policy issuance process? A. To assess the physical condition of the property and recommend repairs if necessary. B. To evaluate the chain of title for defects and determine the insurability of the property based on historical records. C. To provide legal advice to the property owner on how to resolve title disputes. D. To prepare and deliver closing documents to all parties involved in the real estate transaction. Answer: B. Explanation. The primary role of a title insurance underwriter is to assess the chain of title for any defects and determine the insurability of the property based on historical records. This involves evaluating the public records to ensure that the title is clear and that the property can be legally transferred without issues. The underwriter's decision impacts whether the policy will be issued and what risks will be covered. A relevant law guideline. Underwriting guidelines are outlined by the Michigan Title Insurance Act and the American Land Title Association, ALTA, which provide detailed responsibilities for underwriters in assessing and insuring titles. Question 3, scenario-based. Scenario: Emily is purchasing a historic property in Michigan. During her title search, she discovers that there is a recorded easement from 1925 that allows access to a neighboring property. She is concerned that this easement might affect her property's value and usage. What should Emily do to address this issue before closing on the property? A. Proceed with the purchase without any changes, as easements from more than 50 years ago are typically not a concern. B. Request the title insurance company to exclude the easement from coverage in her policy to avoid future issues. C. Negotiate with the seller to have the easement removed from the title records before closing the transaction. D. Review the easement with a real estate attorney to understand its impact on her property and consult with the title insurance company for coverage options related to the easement. Answer: D. Explanation. In this scenario, the best course of action for Emily is to review the easement with a real estate attorney to understand its implications on her property. Additionally, consulting with the title insurance company is crucial, as they can provide specific coverage options related to the easement. This ensures that Emily fully understands how the easement might affect her property and what is covered under her title insurance policy. Removing the easement from title records is generally not feasible without legal intervention, and simply proceeding without addressing the issue could lead to complications. Relevant law guideline. The Michigan Title Insurance Act and general real estate principles emphasize the importance of understanding encumbrances like easements and their impact on property ownership. Title insurance policies often address such issues, and consulting legal experts is advisable for comprehensive risk assessment. Question 4. When an underwriter identifies a title defect during the examination process, which of the following actions is typically taken to resolve it? A. The defect is ignored if it does not affect the current owner's rights. B. The title insurance company issues a policy with an exclusion for the defect, leaving it unaddressed. C. The underwriter works with the parties involved to clear or resolve the defect before issuing the policy. D. The defect is noted in the title report but does not affect the issuance of the insurance policy. Answer: C. Explanation. When a title defect is identified, the underwriter typically works with the parties involved to resolve or clear the defect before issuing the policy. This is crucial to ensure that the title is insurable and to protect against future claims related to the defect. Ignoring the defect or issuing a policy with an exclusion without addressing the underlying issue could lead to significant legal and financial problems for the policyholder. A relevant law guideline. The Michigan Title Insurance Act requires that defects must be addressed to ensure that the title is marketable and insurable, and that title insurance policies provide coverage against such defects once they are resolved. Question 5. What is the primary purpose of the chain of title title search? A. To verify the physical condition of the property and its improvements. B. To determine the history of ownership and any potential claims or encumbrances on the property. C. To establish the market value of the property for insurance purposes. D. To prepare the final closing documents for the real estate transaction. Answer. B. Explanation. The chain of title is a critical component of a title search as it provides the historical record of ownership and identifies any potential claims or encumbrances on the property. It helps to establish the legal ownership and ensure that there are no unresolved issues that could affect the current or future ownership of the property. Relevant law guideline. The Michigan Title Insurance Act and standard title search practices emphasize the importance of examining the chain of title to confirm clear ownership and to detect any potential issues that need resolution. Question 6. In the context of title insurance, what is typically covered under the exclusions section of a policy? A. Issues related to recorded liens and mortgages. B. Claims that arise from zoning violations and environmental hazards. C. Known title defects that are specifically listed in the policy. D. All issues related to physical damage to the property. Answer. B. Explanation. The exclusions section of a title insurance policy generally outlines specific matters not covered by the policy, such as zoning violations and environmental hazards. These issues are considered outside the scope of title insurance coverage, which typically focuses on defects in the title and ownership disputes rather than physical or regulatory issues. Relevant law guideline. Title insurance policies, including those regulated by Michigan law and ALTA guidelines, explicitly list exclusions that are not covered, which often include matters related to zoning and environmental concerns. Question 7. If a property has an unrecorded lien that is discovered after the issuance of a title policy, which of the following is true? A. The title insurance policy will cover the unrecorded lien without any additional actions needed. B. The policyholder must resolve the lien themselves as it is not covered by the title insurance policy. C. The title insurance company will provide coverage for the lien if it is not explicitly excluded in the policy. D. The unrecorded lien will automatically be removed from the property's records to prevent future issues. Answer. C. Explanation. If a property has an unrecorded lien that is discovered after the issuance of a title policy, coverage will depend on whether the lien is explicitly excluded in the policy. Title insurance typically covers defects in title that are not recorded but are discovered during the policy period. The insurer will cover such issues if they fall within the scope of coverage and are not specifically excluded. Relevant law guideline. Title insurance policies as defined by Michigan regulations and ALTA standards often include provisions for coverage of certain unrecorded liens unless explicitly excluded in the policy. Question 8. In Michigan, what is the purpose of the title insurance regulation overseen by the Department of Insurance and Financial Services? A. To manage real estate transactions and ensure proper property appraisals. B. To enforce standards and ensure that title insurance practices are conducted fairly and ethically. C. To handle disputes between buyers and sellers regarding property condition. D. To set property tax rates and collect revenue for local governments. Answer. B. Explanation. The Department of Insurance and Financial Services in Michigan oversees title insurance regulations to enforce standards and ensure that title insurance practices are conducted fairly and ethically. This includes ensuring that title insurance companies and professionals adhere to legal requirements and provide appropriate coverage and service to policyholders. Relevant law guideline. The Michigan Title Insurance Act and regulations from the Department of Insurance and Financial Services set forth the rules and standards for title insurance practices in the state. Question 9. Which of the following actions would most likely be a violation of ethical standards in the title insurance industry? A. Disclosing all known title defects to the buyer and seller before closing. B. Issuing a title policy without properly reviewing the chain of title for defects. C. Providing clients with a detailed explanation of policy coverage and exclusions. D. Consulting with an attorney to resolve potential title issues before issuing a policy. Answer: B. Explanation. Issuing a title policy without properly reviewing the chain of title for defects would likely be a violation of ethical standards in the title insurance industry. It is essential for title insurance professionals to thoroughly review the chain of title to identify and address any defects to ensure that the title is insurable and that all parties are protected. Relevant law guideline. Ethical standards for title insurance professionals are outlined in the Michigan Title Insurance Act and ALTA guidelines, which require due diligence in title examinations and policy issuance. Question 10. If a title insurance policy is issued with a specific exclusion for a known encumbrance, what is the impact on the policyholder? A. The policyholder will be covered for claims related to the excluded encumbrance if it arises. B. The title insurance company will reimburse the policyholder for any losses related to the excluded encumbrance. C. The policyholder will not have coverage for the specific encumbrance listed in the exclusion. D. The title insurance company will automatically resolve the excluded encumbrance without further action required from the policyholder. Answer: C. Explanation. If a title insurance policy is issued with a specific exclusion for a known encumbrance, the policyholder will not have coverage for that particular issue. The exclusion section of the policy explicitly states the matters that are not covered, and the policyholder must address these issues separately. Relevant law guideline. Title insurance policies include exclusions that outline what is not covered. This is detailed in both state regulations and industry standards, such as those set by ALTA. Question 11. Which of the following is a typical function of title insurance in protecting against future claims? A. Covering repairs needed due to physical damage to the property. B. Ensuring compliance with local zoning laws and regulations. C. Providing coverage against claims arising from defects in the title that were unknown at the time of purchase. D. Offering legal representation in disputes over property boundaries. Answer: C. Explanation. Title insurance primarily protects against claims that arise from defects in the title which were unknown at the time of purchase. This includes issues such as undisclosed errors, fraud, or errors in the public records. It does not cover physical damage to the property, zoning law compliance, or legal representation in boundary disputes. Relevant law guideline. Title insurance policies are designed to cover defects in title that are discovered after the policy is issued as per the Michigan Title Insurance Act and ALTA guidelines. Question 12. What is typically covered by an owner's title insurance policy but not by a lender's title insurance policy? A. Claims related to unpaid property taxes. B. Loss of title due to defects discovered in the chain of title. C. Protection against claims of ownership disputes from prior owners. D. Coverage for mortgage fraud and lender's lien priority issues. Answer: C. Explanation. An owner's title insurance policy generally covers claims of ownership disputes from prior owners, providing protection for the buyer's ownership interest. A lender's title insurance policy primarily protects the lender's interests, focusing on ensuring the priority of the lender's lien and protecting against defects that affect the lender's security interest. Relevant law guideline. The differences between owners' and lenders' title insurance policies are outlined in Michigan's regulations and ALTA standards, which specify the scope of coverage for each type of policy. Question 13. Which of the following scenarios would typically require a title insurance claim to be filed? A. Discovery of a defect in the title that was known but not disclosed before closing. B. A physical inspection revealing maintenance issues with the property. C. A newly recorded lien that was not present during the initial title search. D. A dispute over property boundaries that was settled before closing. Answer: C. Explanation. A newly recorded lien that was not present during the initial title search would typically require a title insurance claim to be filed. Title insurance is designed to cover issues that arise after the issuance of the policy, including new encumbrances or defects that were not discovered during the initial search. Relevant law guideline. Title insurance policies cover claims related to defects and encumbrances that are discovered after the policy is issued as per the guidelines outlined in Michigan Title Insurance Act and ALTA standards. Question 14. In the event of a title defect, what is the usual first step a title insurance company will take? A. Pay out the claim immediately without investigation. B. Attempt to resolve the defect through negotiation or legal action. C. Deny the claim based on policy exclusions without further investigation. D. Request the policyholder to handle the resolution of the defect themselves. Answer: B. Explanation. The usual first step a title insurance company will take in the event of a title defect is to attempt to resolve the defect through negotiation or legal action. This approach ensures that the title can be cleared and the policyholder's interests are protected. The company will typically investigate the claim and work towards resolving the issue rather than immediately denying or delegating the resolution to the policyholder. Relevant law guideline. Title insurance companies are obligated to address and resolve defects as outlined in the Michigan Title Insurance Act and ALTA guidelines. Question 15. Which of the following would NOT typically be covered under an extended title insurance policy? A. Claims arising from unrecorded easements. B. Fraudulent conveyances or forged signatures. C. Zoning restrictions and environmental regulations. D. Hidden defects in the title not discovered during the initial search. Answer: C. Explanation. Zoning restrictions and environmental regulations are not typically covered under an extended title insurance policy, while extended coverage does include protection against issues like unrecorded easements and hidden defects. Zoning and environmental concerns are generally outside the scope of title insurance coverage. Relevant law guideline. Title insurance policies, including extended coverage, do not address zoning or environmental issues as detailed in Michigan's regulations and ALTA standards. Question 16. What is the purpose of a title search in the title insurance process? A. To determine the current market value of the property. B. To review the physical condition and improvements of the property. C. To identify any potential defects or encumbrances in the property's title. D. To verify the compliance of the property with local building codes. Answer: C. Explanation. The purpose of a title search is to identify any potential defects or encumbrances in the property's title. This process involves examining public records to ensure that the title is clear and that there are no unresolved claims or issues that could affect the property's ownership. Relevant law guideline. Title searches are conducted to verify the status of the property's title and to detect any potential issues as required by the Michigan Title Insurance Act and standard title insurance practices. Question 17. If a title insurance policy includes an endorsement for survey coverage, what does this typically provide? A. Coverage for disputes related to boundary lines and encroachments based on a survey. B. Protection against defects in the surveyor's qualifications and accuracy. C. Coverage for physical damage to the property identified through a survey. D. Legal representation for disputes over survey findings. Answer: A. Explanation. An endorsement for survey coverage or ECA title insurance policy typically provides coverage for disputes related to boundary lines and encroachments based on a survey. This endorsement ensures that issues identified through a survey, such as boundary disputes, are covered by the policy. Relevant law guideline. Survey endorsements are designed to address issues related to property boundaries and encroachments as outlined in the Michigan Title Insurance Act and ALTA guidelines. Question 18. What does the term chain of title refer to in title insurance? A. The sequence of legal documents related to the property's construction. B. The history of ownership transfers and associated claims or encumbrances. C. The physical location of the property within a subdivision or development. D. The legal process for resolving property disputes in court. Answer: B. Explanation. The term chain of title refers to the history of ownership transfers and associated claims or encumbrances. It is a crucial component in title searches as it helps determine the legitimacy of the current title and identify any potential issues. Relevant law guideline. The chain of title is reviewed to confirm clear ownership and to detect any issues that need resolution according to the Michigan Title Insurance Act and standard title insurance practices. Question 19. Which of the following best describes a title defect? A. A minor discrepancy in the property's legal description that does not affect ownership. B. An issue that affects the validity of the property's title and could impact ownership rights. C. A temporary issue with the property's zoning that will be resolved by local authorities. D. A minor maintenance issue with the property that does not affect its legal status. Answer: B. Explanation. A title defect is an issue that affects the validity of the property's title and could impact ownership rights. This includes matters such as claims from previous owners, liens, or unresolved encumbrances. Unlike minor discrepancies or maintenance issues, title defects directly impact legal ownership and insurability. Relevant law guideline. Title defects are defined by Michigan law and title insurance standards as issues that can affect the legal ownership of the property. Question 20. In a title insurance policy, what does risk assessment typically involve? A. Evaluating the property's potential for appreciation or depreciation in market value. B. Analyzing the likelihood of claims arising from defects in the title. C. Assessing the physical condition of the property and its compliance with safety codes. D. Reviewing the seller's financial stability and ability to complete the sale. Answer. B. Explanation. Risk assessment in a title insurance policy involves analyzing the likelihood of claims arising from defects in the title. This process helps determine the insurability of the title and the potential risks that need to be covered by the policy. Relevant law guideline. Risk assessment is a key component of the underwriting process in title insurance as outlined by the Michigan Title Insurance Act and industry standards set by ALTA. Question 21. What is the primary difference between a standard title insurance policy and an extended title insurance policy? A standard policy covers only known defects, while an extended policy covers both known and unknown defects. B. A standard policy covers claims related to title defects discovered before the policy issuance, while an extended policy covers defects discovered after issuance. C. An extended policy provides broader coverage, including issues like unrecorded easements and survey discrepancies not covered by a standard policy. D. A standard policy is valid for a lifetime, whereas an extended policy is valid only for a specific term. Answer. C. Explanation. An extended title insurance policy provides broader coverage compared to a standard policy. This includes protection against issues such as unrecorded easements, survey discrepancies, and other defects not typically covered by a standard policy. Standard policies generally cover known defects, while extended policies address additional risks. Relevant law guideline. The scope of coverage for standard and extended policies is outlined by the Michigan Title Insurance Act and ALTA standards. Question 22. What action should a title insurance company take if they discover a defect in the title during the underwriting process? A. Immediately issue the title insurance policy with a disclaimer regarding the defect. B. Notify the policyholder of the defect and refuse to issue the policy. C. Attempt to resolve the defect through negotiation or correction before issuing the policy. D. Proceed with issuing the policy without addressing the defect. Answer. C. Explanation. If a title insurance company discovers a defect in the title during the underwriting process, it should attempt to resolve the defect through negotiation or correction before issuing the policy. This ensures that the policyholder's interests are protected and that the title is clear of issues. Relevant law guideline. Title insurance companies are required to address and resolve title defects before issuing a policy as per the Michigan Title Insurance Act and ALTA guidelines. Question 23. What does the term title search involve? A. Analyzing the physical condition and maintenance records of the property. B. Reviewing the property's history to identify any potential title defects or encumbrances. C. Evaluating the property's compliance with local zoning and building codes. D. Assessing the seller's financial background and ability to transfer ownership. Answer. B. Explanation. A title search involves reviewing the property's history to identify any potential title defects or encumbrances. This process helps ensure that the title is clear and that there are no unresolved claims or issues affecting the property's ownership. Relevant law guideline. Title searches are conducted to verify the status of the property's title and to detect any potential issues as required by the Michigan Title Insurance Act and standard title insurance practices. Question 24. What is the purpose of a chain of title examination? A. To determine the current market value of the property. B. To verify the legal description of the property and its compliance with local regulations. C. To trace the history of ownership transfers and identify any claims or defects affecting the title. D. To assess the property's physical condition and identify any maintenance issues. Answer. C. Explanation. The purpose of a chain of title examination is to trace the history of ownership transfers and identify any claims or defects affecting the title. This examination helps ensure that the title is clear and that there are no unresolved issues that could impact ownership. Relevant law guideline. Chain of title examinations are a standard procedure in title searches as outlined by the Michigan Title Insurance Act and ALTA standards. Question 25. Which type of title insurance policy is most likely to cover issues related to unrecorded easements? A. Standard title insurance policy. B. Owner's title insurance policy. C. Lender's title insurance policy. D. Extended title insurance policy. Answer: D. Explanation. An extended title insurance policy is most likely to cover issues related to unrecorded easements. Extended policies provide broader coverage, including protection against defects such as unrecorded easements, which are not typically covered by standard policies. Relevant law guideline: extended title insurance policies cover additional risks beyond those addressed by standard policies as specified by the Michigan Title Insurance Act and ALTA guidelines. Question 26. What is the significance of the abstract of title in the title insurance process? A. It provides a detailed account of the property's physical condition. B. It summarizes the chain of title and highlights any defects or encumbrances. C. It assesses the property's compliance with zoning and building regulations. D. It lists the financial history and current market value of the property. Answer: B. Explanation. An abstract of title summarizes the chain of title and highlights any defects or encumbrances. It provides a condensed view of the property's ownership history and is used to identify potential issues affecting the title. A relevant law guideline. Abstracts of title are used in title searches to provide a summary of the title's history as outlined in the Michigan Title Insurance Act and standard industry practices. Question 27. In the context of title insurance, what does coverage exclusion refer to? A. Issues that are covered by the policy but not included in the premium. B. Risks or defects that are specifically excluded from coverage under the policy. C. Additional coverage options available for an extra premium. D. Claims that are covered by the policy but require additional documentation. Answer: B. Explanation. Coverage exclusion refers to risks or defects that are specifically excluded from coverage under the policy. These exclusions outline what is not covered by the title insurance policy and help define the limits of coverage. Relevant law guideline. Coverage exclusions are detailed in the policy documents and are governed by the Michigan Title Insurance Act and ALTA guidelines. Question 28. Which of the following is a key component of title insurance underwriting? A. Evaluating the property's potential for future appreciation. B. Assessing the physical condition and maintenance needs of the property. C. Reviewing public records and identifying any title defects or encumbrances. D. Verifying the seller's financial stability and ability to complete the sale. Answer: C. Explanation. A key component of title insurance underwriting is reviewing public records and identifying any title defects or encumbrances. This process helps determine the insurability of the title and ensures that any issues are addressed before issuing the policy. Relevant law guideline. Title insurance underwriting involves a thorough review of public records to identify potential defects as required by the Michigan Title Insurance Act and ALTA standards. Question 29. Which scenario typically requires title insurance coverage for a property owner? A. A dispute over the property's market value with a potential buyer. B. Claims arising from undisclosed heirs or previous ownership disputes. C. Physical damage to the property due to natural disasters. D. Zoning violations related to the property's use or development. Answer: B. Explanation. Title insurance coverage for a property owner is typically required for claims arising from undisclosed heirs or previous ownership disputes. This coverage protects against defects in the title that could affect ownership rights. Relevant law guideline. Title insurance policies provide protection against issues related to previous ownership and undisclosed claims as outlined in the Michigan Title Insurance Act and ALTA guidelines. Question 30. In Michigan, what is the primary regulatory body overseeing title insurance practices? A. The Michigan Department of Environmental Quality. B. The Michigan Department of Insurance and Financial Services. C. The Michigan Real Estate Commission. D. The Michigan Attorney General's Office. Answer: B. Explanation. The primary regulatory body overseeing title insurance practices in Michigan is the Michigan Department of Insurance and Financial Services. This department regulates title insurance companies and enforces compliance with state laws and regulations. Relevant law guideline. The Michigan Department of Insurance and Financial Services is responsible for regulating title insurance practices and ensuring adherence to the Michigan Title Insurance Act and related regulations.